What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Tuesday morning, and we're here for a little coffee talk. I'm not on that caffeinated this morning. I already had my morning coffee, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into that H2O. You gotta hydrate. You gotta hydrate. If you caffeinate, you gotta hydrate. So I'm gonna go ahead and hydrate this morning. Um, yeah. How's everybody's Tuesday? I feel like this Tuesday I'm feeling hopeful. That's the mood for the day, hopeful. Every now and then I wake up in this energy that's, not over the top excited about anything, but definitely in a positive mood. Good morning, T. T always makes my day feel better. Whenever I get a chance to talk with T, hang out with T. I got to go to the store today, T. You going to go with me? I don't know if your lunchtime. I did. It might not be your lunch break, but I feel like I need to hear your voice. I'd love to see you over here, but I need to hear your voice so we can talk about some things. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, how's your morning tea? You got your mocha matcha? Yeah, I told y'all I'm on my H2O. So yeah, I'm feeling hopeful today. It's a positive frame of mind. We're gonna shout out Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman passed away 113 years ago today. Some of y'all got grandparents, you know what I'm saying? Not too far removed from that. So on March 10th in 1913, at the age of 91, Harriet Tubman was out here doing work until she was 91 years old. So yeah, um, I don't want to say shout out, but yeah, let's take a moment to remember like all the work that Harriet Tubman, did to give us free. We looking for a new Harriet Tubman because it seems as though we need to give us free. I'm drinking water too. So yeah, we need to hydrate. That's why black don't crack. You got to make sure you hydrate. Um, that's not the only reason, but that's definitely one of the reasons. So, yeah, in honor of Harriet Tubman, we're going to get into some of the excellence that is Black, because that's what we do over here on Coffee Talk. We talk about current events, we talk about a little bit of celebrity gossip, and we get into the excellence that is history and that is Black. So, this is not about history, this is, current events. This is what's going on currently, right here, today, that we need to acknowledge and, take some pride in. Amber Gibbons has made history as the first Black, I guess it is history, child. She's the first. Amber Gibbons has made history as the first Black woman elected to lead the Dallas County District Attorney Office in Texas. Her victory marks as a major moment for representation in the justice system and highlights the growing impact of Black women in leadership. Uh, this is not a surprise, Black women in leadership. Is it me? It seems like a lot of the time that these states that are so red, so red, so MAGA, there's a lot of the times a person of color that comes through, many times a woman of color that comes through, to lead the pack, trailblaze through being the first to. Mississippi, Alabama, Texas. Good morning, Lotus Egyptian flower. We just over here talking about the greatness that's currently making history. Miss Amber Givens, I used to work at a law firm as an office assistant, and although there were no Black attorneys, there were a lot of Black paralegals, which they do a lot of the work, most of the work, and then they have an attorney come finesse that thing. But the women that worked in there always had to have this very stern demeanor. First elected to lead might be a stretch, but I don't know. What you mean? What you mean? Are you talking about Amber? That's what it says. First Black woman elected to lead Dallas County. I don't live in Texas. I know Jasmine Crockett is over there doing her thing, and in spite of how the turnout was. But yeah, I mean, she's the first according to this. Lead. I would love to hear more about your opinion on that lotus Egyptian flower. Please share with us because, I'm over here just, sharing, spreading a little bit of what I found out. Um, I will say, like I said, the women in those positions in law firms and things. You think there was another woman who was in the same position? Hmm, probably. This lady is young and attractive, and I'm not trying to take away from anything that she's got going on over here, but maybe she's aesthetically the face that that is more appropriate, I guess, for consumption to be called the leader of. Nonetheless, we're happy to see her, in this position. And hopefully, she's doing great things over there in Dallas County. But yeah, like I was saying, these women, I used to have a client that was an attorney and I loved her to death, but that sternness, I feel like it takes to be a woman in those types of positions. So yeah, we're going to keep an eye on her because we need doctors and we need attorneys and we need judges. Lawyers lead to judges and things of that nature. So one step at a time. And yeah, congratulations to Miss Amber Gibbons. What else we got going on over there in the internet's, timelines and things? Okay, so Miss Shirley. Viral star Miss Shirley turned social media fame into business launches. Wait, business success launches. The way they wrote this is annoying. Viral star Miss Shirley turned social media fame into business success launches kids meal line. That's how they said it, with Walmart and Amazon partnership. Young content creator Miss Shirley has officially turned her internet fame into real entrepreneurship by securing major partnership with Walmart and Amazon. She recently launched her very own kids meal line, proving that social media influence can turn into real ownership and brand opportunities. What started as fun content online has now become a business move with two of the largest retailers in the world. A powerful reminder that Black creators are not going viral, they're building brands. Now, there was some controversy surrounding Miss Shirley. And I'm going to go ahead. If you don't know, this was Miss Shirley.
Thank you. Oh, you going to show us how to line dance?
Yeah.
All right.
I ain't gonna play that music too much, but yeah, she was over here getting her boots on the ground, blah, 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 blah. There was a little bit of controversy around Miss Shirley and her the way her mama was out here, putting this little girl to work. El Cid in the house, she said like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Yes, let's don't forget to do that. Little Black Girl Selling Meal Line. Now, why did Robert F. Kennedy do it? Because he's not interested in the health and wealth of the community. So the people were upset with Miss Shirley's mama because she was over there putting this lady out to perform in clubs and things. And there was some, pictures, of her, like, she was out there taking pictures with the fans and things. And some of these fans were grown ass men and none of it looked good. I've always loved little Miss Shirley because she's just adorable. And her, she's very smart. She's very sassy, but, there was some concern about, where her mother was allowing her to perform. And she got on the internet and she cussed y'all out, and some man came over here and he called CPS. And I feel like I'm gonna use the term ghetto because that's what it was giving. Uneducated, and I don't mean the lady doesn't have any education. I mean in terms of getting into show business. I feel like people get into show business, and this little girl went viral very fast. So we live in a world where you never know where you're going to go viral. And Miss Shirley's cute little self got over here dancing. I think it started with her uncle, and she moved on to, like, you know what I'm saying, to the internet, and the popularity and stuff start coming very quickly for her. And I feel like we have a lot of expectations of people who don't know any better. So it was a lot of people coming to attack her mama, and her mama ain't this and her mama ain't that. And she need, some weird ass nigga called CPS. And I'm here to tell you, I did not, I didn't like seeing Miss Shirley out here performing in clubs and things. And I think her mother definitely, was wrong for that. Especially, with everything that's going on now. I don't know about having kids in show business at all, period. But here you are as a person. And I mean, it's easy for us to judge over here that because it's not us. But here you are as a person within a certain income bracket. And now your child has put you in a position and this money is coming in and she's being booked for things. And it's like I said, easy for us to judge. But when you don't know what you're doing and the wheel is moving real fast, bad decisions, poor decisions are bound to be made. I think there's parents out there who have tried very hard to keep an eye on their children in a show business setting and, lost control of the wheel. But I feel like Miss Shirley's mama, although she was very defensive in the beginning, and I feel like that's normal to be defensive. Because what would you do? Because now, your child is a machine that's making money, that's going to put the whole family in a different, position. And the focus should definitely be on Miss Shirley and not taking care of everyone. But, what do you do? Because now you've created a situation that can take care of Miss Shirley. So there was all these think pieces all the way down to her being called Miss Shirley is making her feel more adult. And maybe, but I feel like we do all of that, as parents, we nickname our kids and depending on their demeanor and things. I don't want to I'm not no therapist or psychologist or any of those things. I just thought it was a cute little kid who, definitely brought joy to my timeline. So I love that she, redirected that energy. I don't see Miss Shirley so much like I used to, dancing around, snapping her fan, blah blah. But I think this is awesome. And so here she is, her cute little self. Miss Shirley's Kids Meal is launching in Walmart and Amazon, and yes, it will be EBT eligible. Okay, well, it's a meal, so they snatch some of the things off the cakes and pies and things, which I feel like I don't have a problem with that. The food is supposed to be, for you to keep your kids healthy, not for tater chips and cakes and pies and things. Anyway, from chicken and waffles to tender barbecue ribs and even a kid's crab broil. Whoa. Your little ones now new go-to meal is microwave ready, parent approved, and kid loved. We're talking real food, real flavors, real convenience. Smooches by Miss Shirley said kids deserve gourmet too. And she meant that. I know she did. So here's cute little Miss Shirley. Look at her with her little Happy Meal box. I think kids are actually going to love this. The waffles are big old waffles too. You got green ones, blue ones. You can sit there with your kids and they can learn colors and shapes and look at the chicken and waffles. I love this idea. Like I said, I'm so happy that Miss Shirley's mama redirected, the energy as far as all the negativity. And I'm gonna be looking for it in my local store because if we got to go in there, we should be spending money to support our own. The little girl should have the same path as JoJo Siwa, but industry will see this family differently. The mom is, what you say? The mom is so money hungry. I don't disagree with that. And like I said, a lot of that I feel like is just the fact that where she comes from. And you know what I'm saying? You got to it would take somebody like she was doing that dance over there on Shirley Shepherd. No, it was Jennifer Hudson's show. And I talked about it in a video, previously, but I feel like Jennifer Hudson, what's the other lady? Niecy Nash. Like y'all were here with the lady, reach out to the mama. We got to y'all are in show business. Give her a little education on how to move. And I don't know that didn't happen, but I'm hoping that within the industry, there are some women, because we let the men go do whatever it is they're going to do. that can maybe help guide her. This is a good thing. I hope that Miss Shirley is getting trust funds put away. This is an amazing idea. Like I said, even the packaging is cool because, you know, of the colorful waffles and things. So we're going to focus on the positivity. Hope this mama, like I said, redirects, gets a little education. I don't want to like keep her stuck in a place where we seen her over there cussing y'all out. Oh, because that's what we do. Um, and you know, I don't want to judge her based on where she came from. I'm just glad to see, like, now that Miss Shirley is a viral sensation, that she's in a position to move forward and get deals like this. I think Miss Shirley should be out here selling clothing lines and hair care. She's adorable, and that window is very short. You know, once they start growing up, and unless there's a real talent there in terms of, you know, dancing and singing and all of that, which don't even go down that road. The industry is horrible. I hope this is just an opportunity for Miss Shirley's mama to have a nest egg for her to move along in her future, you know, college education. And, you know, we have all these examples of young Black women doing great things. And, you know, hopefully that's the direction we'll see her in. But I'll be looking for Miss Shirley's food meal line. I love it. I love the idea. And the packaging is, you know, really cute. So this man here, let's listen to what he had to say, because he don't make no damn sense, child.
For several hours yesterday, I listened hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or Black, but the demands of our message. The least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice. The least of these.
So Jesse Jackson Jr. is upset. The son of civil rights icon Jesse Jackson is speaking out after several former presidents delivered remarks at his father's funeral. Jesse Jackson Jr. is criticizing speeches from Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Bill Clinton, claiming the memorial turned too political. Jackson Jr. said the leaders didn't truly understand his father's legacy. They don't know my father, he said while discussing the eulogies delivered during the service. Jackson also argued that some of the remarks shifted the focus away from honoring his father's life, instead becoming a moment to criticize our current president, Donald Trump. They used my father's funeral to take shot at President Trump, Jackson Jr. said, expressing frustration over political tone of speeches. He went on to describe his father as someone who transcended party lines. My father wasn't a Democrat or a Republican. He was prophetic, he said, emphasized that the civil rights leaders' influence went beyond traditional political labels. The comments have sparked debate online as people continue discussing the memorial and lasting impact of Jesse Jackson's decades-long role in the civil rights movement. First comment, well, you should have just invited Trump then. He would have just talked about the 3 presidents and not Jesse. Now, we really tried very hard to not come over here and discuss the things that Jesse Jackson did that were not necessarily in a positive light. I feel like me and y'all, we were over here being respectful of what Jesse added to, to the civil rights movement. Good morning, Ja Tony. But here he go running his mouth. I don't understand the outrage. It's because his daddy would have done the same. In my opinion, too, Lotus Egyptian Flower, I think Jesse would have done the same thing. I think our boy wants to get back into politics, as he should. Was his son in politics? Your father was a politician, sir. I mean, that's what I thought. Good grief. T said he's giving MAGA. I certainly hope not, child. But I don't understand. Like, let's be clear. So, and I can't speak on Bill Clinton or Joe Biden, but let me pull this up right quick. Barack Obama was over there. I didn't listen to the speeches. I don't know what the people said. I did not attend the funeral. In 2008, Reverend Jesse Jackson made critical private remarks about Barack Obama that were caught on a hot microphone, including a comment about cutting his nuts off regarding perceived condescension towards Black voters. Jackson quickly apologized for the hurtful comments and later supported Obama's presidency, praising him and his accomplishments. I remember that. And I was like, why is he so mad that, he wants to cut the man's nuts off? Him and his wife did time for fraud. It was the Obama administration that got him. See what I'm saying? We wasn't even talking about that. We was trying to be nice over here, but here young Jesse go. Do we want to talk about what happened to MLK? Do we? Child. It's a lot to be said about what Jesse Jackson was over here doing. So while his son is over here on his high horse, being mad about politicians, speaking politics, that's what they do at funerals when they're honoring somebody. So, child, Jesse was a little salty, but we ain't gonna dig any deeper. I don't want to dig any deeper, Elsie, because you know what? It ain't gonna be a good look. That's what I feel like. So, and I also feel like son, Jesse Jr., this man looked like he older than me, so I'm not gonna call him son no more. But I feel like him taking on this attitude towards what happened over there down to the funeral is only gonna open those can of worms. I think, when you come out publicly doing this kind of nonsense, then you open the door for people to start, digging down deeper, because that's what might happen. It won't happen over here, but I was, just that caught my eye, because at this point, we can't even really run away from politics. Everything is political at this point. We just have to find out, where we fit in or don't. Speaking of, when you out here voting, just because it's a Democrat on the ticket doesn't mean that's, in our best interest. And that's why I feel like, I'm bringing up Jasmine Crockett again, but the Latino people was over there making sure that whatever his name is, because I forgot, the other guy over there in Texas and they voted him in as their congressman instead of Jasmine Crockett. But we go over and we try to make the best decision. At this point, we're hoping not to have Republicans leading everything, because look at where we are now. These are 4 Democrats that voted against stopping Trump's war on Iran. So even though, we trying to, the party lines is a whole lot of mess. But Representative Jared Golden, he voted to keep the ball rolling. He's a Democrat. Representative Henry Collier, Texas. Dude, they put their phone number 202-225-1640. I don't know what that number is for, but he voted to move on with this war. Republican Greg Landsman, Ohio. He's another Democrat. Representative Juan Vargas, California. So, when you go over to these polls during your primary elections, you have to make sure that, the Democrat that you're voting for is even, on your side. It's crazy. You just don't know. It takes a lot of research. In the words of Mariah, do you want to go there, baby? Because we can go there. We can go there. Tallarico. Yes. Thank you, John Tony. Tallarico, that's his name. He's the one, but what side is he really on? We don't know. We know he's a Democrat, but look what they over here doing. This whole system needs to be shut down and reorganized. There definitely should be more focused. This is the crazy thing. You don't have to pick a party, but if you don't pick a party, then they keep you from voting in the primaries, which we know is the most important election. So the rules were rigged before we got off of there. Yeah, I see the office. I see they all have the same phone number. They're setting Tallarico up to run for president. I mean, hey, Shayna. Gavin, the people don't like Gavin, and I haven't done a lot of research on Gavin. I'm always suspect. I know he's anti-Trump, but I need to do more research on what Gavin is doing over there, but we'll see. I feel I don't feel no ways about Tallarico. And my spirit ain't saying, pro that. So, child, like I said, we just need to burn the whole system down and try again. Everybody, let's just try again, try something different. Woo! What else we got going on over there? There was a lot. I like it when I have to remove things from the list and scoot them to another day. It's much harder when I'm out here fighting to find something to talk about. Whew. Are y'all out here traveling? Because TSA security lines at some U.S. airports are now hitting 3 hours as TSA officers work without full pay during partial government shutdown. Y'all can I'm not. I need my money or I'm not going. And now it's spring break. So, everybody need to stay home. If you don't have to travel, then don't. It's in the airport. It's just going to... Travelers at several major U.S. airports are facing extremely long security lines as partial government shutdown affects transportation, security administration, staffing, because many TSA workers are not receiving full pay. Some have called out of work, leading to significant shortages at checkpoints. Of course, they're not going to work. How long can you work with? How much were they getting paid in the first place? Probably can't afford to go to work for partial pay. Over the weekend, wait times reached nearly 3 hours at Houston Williams P. Hobby Airport. Where the heck is that? Other airports also experienced delays, including 77 minutes in New Orleans, 60 minutes in Atlanta, and more than 50 minutes at Houston George Bush Intercontinental Airport. I mean, an hour is not bad. 3 hours is horrible to be in line. And I mean, not bad on a busy day. I feel like you hear that, but it's only going to get worse. The shutdown, which began in mid-February after Congress failed to agree on immigration policy funding, has left about 50,000 TSA officers working without full pay. Officials warn that delays could continue or worsen if the funding dispute is not resolved soon. I mean, are they going to get paid for what they've already missed out on? I mean, it sucks for everyone. And I guess, first they said you can't get a clean seat. So the lines are long, the seats are dirty, and you may or may not be sitting there with your hands in the air and your head in your knees based on who gets on the doggone airplane. Tony said, rumor has it Tallarico was invited by Jesse Jr. Maybe, did he come speak? I don't know. Gavin a petty boots, and I love it, but he needs to stay in Cali. Yeah, I really want to do more research on Gavin. I feel like I love his petty because, I'm patiently petty. But, I haven't done as much research. Now that, we're here, we're at it, because my first introduction to him was when Kamala was running. But, I don't trust no politicians, none of them. So he's another politician. Lesser of evils. Trump's team has put a smear campaign out on Gavin because he was his biggest opponent. Yeah, and he's, I guess conventionally attractive, unlike Trump, in that he really hates that too. I love to see him go at it though. You know, he coming for Trump. I just don't know like what his real motives are. Somebody said the devil incarnate, and I was like, wait, what? Who? But you know, it doesn't surprise me. He's a politician, so I don't have any opinions about anybody at this point. You got to travel in 2 weeks. You need a pre-check line to be working. I mean, they've been standing in line at pre-check, and depending, I guess, on where you're coming from or what day of the week, but it's spring break now, so travel is going to be, you know, double what it normally is, if not more. Kids trying to get back home from school and I think the government is using spring break as an excuse. There were no problems a week ago, quite possibly. But also, if there's less people working, you know, I feel like it's probably both things. We can't trust nothing they say. If they say it's spring break, we definitely need to double check and see if that's what it is. But we know travel is going to be an issue. And now, you know, we got planes out here. It's a lot. It's a lot going on in terms of travel. It always is, but, you know, it's a lot going on. And we need the TSA, and we need them to get paid. That's crazy. Y'all want them to keep coming to work for, you know, less pay. Let's see. I didn't hear about the nefarious invite, pretty sister. He talking about homeboy getting him over to the fume. It wouldn't surprise me. Y'all be careful out there. Get to the airport early because, you know, you're probably going to be there for a very long time. I guess if you get there 3 hours early, it's better to be somewhere where you can sit and enjoy a meal rather than standing in line hoping, you know, you'll get through the TSA, because standing for 3 hours is nuts. That sounds like a summer day at Disney trying to get on it. It's a Small World ride. This is, you know, good news, I guess. I wish I had a Costco closer to me. Consumer Report study found that Costco overtakes Walmart as the cheapest grocery store in the United States. A new Consumer Report price study has found that Walmart is no longer the cheapest place to buy groceries in the United States. The analysis, conducted by Strategic Resource Group, shows that warehouse retailers Costco and BJ's Wholesale Club are now offering lower prices on common grocery items. Researchers tracked the in-store prices over a 48-hour period in 6 major metropolitan areas during the late summer of 2025, using Walmart as the price baseline. The results show that Costco's prices average about 21.4% lower than Walmart, while BJ prices were about 21% lower. Discounts change. I think they mean change. I don't know what is little. Lidl and Aldi also beat Walmart with price roughly 8% cheaper. Other retailers were found to be more expensive. Target's grocery prices averaged 5.9% higher than Walmart, while Trader Joe's was about 24.6% higher. The Whole Foods nearly 39. We know Whole Foods, they dang near 40% higher, but that's a whole different level of grocery shopping. Do you go to Whole Foods just to buy groceries? Not unless you're like somewhere single, a couple, where you know what I'm saying? That ain't what you do your family grocery shopping at. The study compared everyday grocery items such as packaged foods, fresh produce, and meat, matching identical or similar products across stores. And analysis say the findings highlight how Americans are increasingly comparing prices and shopping at multiple stores each week to deal with rising food costs. Grocery chains are expected to continue competing aggressively on price and consumer search for better deals. I don't have no Costco near me. I mean, not very close, like around the corner. I got a BJ's near me, though. I'm going to have to switch it up because, you know, you shop in bulk and it's definitely a lot of times more cost efficient. But I mean, I'm glad to see anybody outdoing Walmart in terms of T said lies. They did not say cheap, T. Lies. Costco is not cheap. They have different types of stuff than Sam's, Walmart, but definitely not cheaper. They didn't say it was cheap. Best bet. Best bet is to shop at local farmers markets. I agree. And I do that too. We have a produce market over here. I'm not a fan of their meat sometimes, but I remember your mama used to have 4 different stops. We used to go from one store. There was like a list of stores we needed to go to get all the things that we need for grocery shopping. And we might have to go back to that. By the time you drive around, you done burnt off the savings. Not in my neighborhood, not in T's neighborhood either, I don't think. We can hit them all, 1 quarter, boom, boom, boom. So, yeah, I guess that depends on where you live. You definitely, though, can support your local farmers market. So, I'm just putting out the percentages that the analysts has said for y'all. So, we don't have to shop a little differently. That's all I'm saying. I'm always glad to not have to take my behind in Walmart. Ugh, I hate that place. What else? What else is going on? Oh, okay. So Monique is talking again. And so remember some years back when she went on The View and Whoopi was trying to tell her how she should have handled her situation? Well, I'm going to remind y'all.
And they all agreed. And this is what happens, in my humble opinion, when you don't go up to the hotel room. See, when I think about those women that said...
I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
Because contractually,
Yes.
when you make a movie, regardless of who you sign the deal with,
Yes.
your job is to go and promote said movie.
Yes.
No. But so when they wanted you to come, and we've had this conversation, and I said, if you had called me, I could have schooled you on what was expected.
And when we did have that conversation, and what I said to you, my sweet sister, I said, Whoopi, at what point do we stop saying the next time? Because what was expected.
Wait,
but I want to answer it though.
Yeah.
I want to answer when you said
Do you want
contractual.
to get paid for the publicity?
Please let me answer. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Because if I had done something wrong contractually, they would have sued me. The reason why no one could do anything to me contractually, and I've done my job. And they all agreed. And this is what happens, in my humble opinion. I did nothing wrong contractually. So when they asked me to come overseas to promote the film, when I said, guys, I'm spending time with my family, I'm going to pass. Now, when I make this statement, this is what happens when you don't go to the room. What Tyler Perry showed me, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate. When you don't do what we ask you to do, we'll take your livelihood. So for 8 years, my family has suffered and my career has suffered because what I would not allow those entities to do was bully me. And because I didn't allow the bullying to happen, this is now what I sit in.
Okay, so Monique had time today. She took to her IG to pen a letter to Whoopi Goldberg after seeing an old clip of them on The View. In the clip, Whoopi is seemingly defending Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels amid Mo accusing them of improper treatment after the film of Precious. Well, Monique is not always the best messenger. Let's see what y'all say. We should go and buy a cow. Okay, so Monique is not always the best messenger, but I don't know how that aged well. Monique a lot of times gets on my last nerves, but she went on IG. She has something to say to Whoopi. Hello, Sister Whoopi. I'm encouraged to send you this open letter after recently seeing a video of our last conversation on your show. The tone of the comments today seemed different from the energy 8 years ago, with many people now agreeing with my sentiments about not working for people or entities I don't owe anything to. I wonder, have your feelings changed since that time? I was also intrigued to learn that in 1993, there was an attempt to sue you regarding Theodore Rex because it was alleged that you had made a verbal commitment to the film. Your defense was that you never actually committed. You can imagine how confused I was when I discovered this, especially since when I explained that my only contractual obligation was to Lee Daniels It didn't sway your opinion, even though to stop you from saying you could have schooled me on doing what they expected from me. Even though Tyler Perry privately admitted and on audio that he was wrong for saying I was difficult to work with, to this day, he has not publicly corrected it. The reason I said we must look out for the little girls coming behind us is because of situations like Epstein Island and other powerful people avoiding accountability. I love how she tried to slide Epstein Island in there. People like Tyler Perry refused to take responsibility, while I had to take responsibility for refusing to sign up for an act of slavery against my will. The worst part is that another woman chastised me on a platform meant to empower women. Ooh. Now, I don't know if your opinion of my actions was influenced by your former executive producer, Candy Carter's relationship with Oprah, or your professional ties with Tyler Perry. But what is interesting is hearing you now speak about the importance of standing up for what's right. My question is, your stance truly about standing up for what's right, or is it about standing up for the right people? Well, what y'all think? I think these ladies, Monique, Oprah, and Tyler Perry, well, he's not a lady, but I feel like they did Monique wrong. She could get on my nerves as much as she does, but I feel like Monique, and then Whoopi definitely tried to stun her. I remember that. Do actors get paid for promotional tours? I think it depends on what you negotiate in your contract. But back then, Tyler, what's his name? Lee Daniels, he wasn't paying a whole lot of nothing. I think it was a passion project. And then Lee Daniels got all this money and the expectation, run me my money. She said she did the work that she was contracted to do. And then, they didn't like her attitude. And Monique, we're not going to sit up here and pretend like you're a delicate little flower and that you might be a little bit difficult to work with. But this, conversation between her and Whoopi was definitely Whoopi trying to stun her and tell her like how she should be behaving. And then, for her to like have a different sentiment now, I don't know that Whoopi will respond to it because it's Monique, and they tend to not respond to her because they don't want that smoke, I think. What'd you say, Jacini? Sisters are the most powerful of us. Dual thrones in symmetry reflects the need for their leadership. Some bros say the Black woman is God. Well, duh. Yeah, these old girls over here still. Now, Monique is not gonna let it die. You said Kim at not symmetry. Autocorrect will get you every single time. I would want to get paid to do it. I would want to get paid to do a promotional tour, especially if it's taking me away from my home. Yeah, I agree. She and like I said, I think she really didn't get paid a whole lot for that particular role, only to go on and be Academy Award winning film. And they did blackball her. And then look at the way Tyler Perry's out here being accused of the stuff that he's being accused of, and Epstein, Oprah over there chilling with Weinstein and all of that. We know that there's a lot of gatekeepers. We know that Oprah and Whoopi both, I feel like, have this elitist attitude towards things. So yeah, like I said, Whoopi probably won't say anything, but what they say, a clock is right at least 2 times a day. And I'm going to have to go with Monique on this one. I think, Whoopi, it's interesting because Whoopi is over there on The View being a cantankerous old lady. She's supposed to be a comedian. And that's another thing. Whoopi, Monique, comedians, like there might have been a little bit of competitive spirit involved. At that time, Oprah was, casting herself in films, and that role in Precious was definitely an Oprah Winfrey kind of role. So we don't know what's on the backside of all of that, but I feel like, Monique, you got this one. Open letter. Put her on blast. Let's see what she say. Probably nothing. Speaking of The View, this popped across.
I gotta walk to work 15 blocks. Just started.
Let me set it up. Raven-Symoné tries to guess a song based on the lyrics, not realizing it's hers. This is definitely somebody white. That's what she said. I'm going to go out and come back in. That's what she said.
Gotta walk to work 15 blocks. Just started. I already got hole in my socks. I gotta walk to work 15 blocks. Just started. I already got a hole in my socks. What the hell? This is definitely somebody white.
No.
It's not?
No.
That's crazy.
That was probably the funniest thing you just could have said.
Like, this is the blackest person in the world? Kanye.
Jay-Z.
No.
I know.
I know you know this.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No. It's black people?
Person.
Oh, it's
It's
a
a black
person. It's a
person.
black person. I gotta walk to work 15 blocks. Just started. I already got hole in my socks.
Got a hole in my socks. I already got a hole. You definitely know it.
I don't. What is it?
You guys want to know?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm literally blank.
This is Double Dutch Bus by Raven-Symoné.
I'm going to stop right there. First of all, I have never in my life heard Raven-Symoné sing the Double Dutch Bus coming down the street. I mean, that ain't Raven, it's a clone. That ain't Raven, it's a clone. Where's the baby Raven? Because I remember her being, you remember her being pregnant? What? Oh my. I don't think I've ever seen that. I think that's her wife that's on that podcast. I gotta walk to work 15 blocks. I already got a hole in my socks. Yeah. I'm gonna give her that, Double Dutch Bus probably came around like before her. Have y'all seen Double Dutch Bus? Heard her sing Double Dutch Bus? I don't believe I've ever heard that. That's embarrassing, Raven. You're so detached that you don't even know your own song. And I remember the kids singing Double Dutch Bus. That was T's song, y'all. T used to be down to the kitchen table singing Double Dutch Bus when she was a small child. Yeah, Raven is detached from reality, from, her blackness, and had the audacity to say, you said, yeah, she did it. Are you talking about yourself? Like I said, I think that's her wife that she's sitting there. She's so, like I said, detached from her reality. That's unfortunate. Raven was a child of the Cosby Show. She was like one of our faves besides Rudy. And here she is sitting there acting like she don't know about the Double Dutch Bus coming down the street. That's unfortunate. Do they have kids? I wonder what their kids are going to know about their But Raven she's not Black. She's from all of Europe and everywhere else across the continent. Something like that, she said. That's her wife. And her wife like, is it somebody Black? Girl, you didn't even watch That's So Raven. I don't need to hear from you. I don't Raven-Symoné anymore. So, child, when they said Double Dutch Bus was her song, I was like, no, it's not. Who said that? Do y'all have a tramp stamp? Raise your hand if you got a tramp stamp. I'm just asking. This isn't related to anything really, but Raven is stupid, and so is Khloe Kardashian. So Khloe Kardashian says she's removing her daddy tramp stamp due to people mistaking it as a sexual despite it being a tribute to her late father. It was a big no-no. Child, let's listen.
I've had one tattoo on my lower back. I had a tramp stamp. It was the trend at the time. And I got a cross with angel wings, and it says daddy over it. It was not supposed to be a sexual situation. It was supposed to be in honor of my dad. But being that it's a tramp stamp, it just, like, I remember a guy was like, "Who's your daddy?" And I'm like, ew. And then I was like, he's not wrong. Like, it just all clicked to me. So that's being removed, but for good reason. Well, it was a cross, and that I had first. Oh my God. Then my mom got the matching cross without telling me, and a tramp stamp too, and thought it would be funny. We can pop that picture up. You Google it. She thought it'd be funny. For some reason, she wrote Kendall and Kylie underneath it. Only, not the 4 other kids that she birthed, just those 2. Then she got the tattoo with Nicole Richie. Nicole thought it was funny. And then they came and they showed me, and they were like, ha ha ha. And I was like, oh, my mom and I have matching tramp stamps. This is horrible. Like, this can't happen. I remember when my dad died, I was like, I don't want a lot of tattoos. So I'm going, and my dad would kill me if he knew about a tattoo. But in my sick, rebellious head, I was like, in honor of my dad, I'm going to get something for him. So I got the angel wings. Looks like a butterfly. And it wrote daddy above the cross. So the whole thing is being wiped away. You can't see the daddy anymore or the angel wings, I don't think, but you can see little remnants of like the ivy that was growing up the cross, but it will be gone soon. But it started as one tattoo and kept adding because I didn't want a lot of tattoos. But from the daddy to the matching tramp stamps with my mom, a lot of it was just a big no-no. What tattoos have you had?
I hate it when people act like, we stupid. So did y'all raise your hand? Anybody got a tramp stamp? You got no tats? Ja Tony, I would be concerned if you had a tramp stamp. T got a tramp stamp. Raise your hand. T got a tramp stamp. It don't say daddy. Lotus Egyptian flower. A stupid idea. Glad she didn't use OJ's name. Oh. What did Elsa say? Elsa, you don't have no tramp stamp. Oh, tribute to your father. Listen, I have a tramp stamp. B and T, yeah. Well, I guess we're the only ones raising our hands this morning. Lotus, you did not raise your hand. You commented about OJ, but do you have a tramp stamp? I have a tramp stamp as well. And it's not dead in the center. You have tats with no tramp stamp. It's not dead in the center. It's still like, I feel like anywhere across your lower back is considered a tramp stamp. I knew exactly what I was doing when I got the tramp stamp. And you cannot tell me that she not for one second thought that she would be bent over with daddy on the back of her ass. Girl, as a tribute to your father, I'm sure my dad will love it if I got his name tattooed above the crack of my ass. Tramp stamp and belly button. I had a belly button ring also. T. We was out here being hoop da hoochie mama. Yeah, I have a tramp stamp. It's still there. Mine is a Capricorn symbol. Not daddy. So there's that. Everybody that got a tramp stamp knew exactly what they were doing. There was the tramp stamp above, on that bottom right above, the crack of your ass all along your back. And then there was the ones like right around the panty line, like in front of your hootie hop. So yeah, she went over there and got. Then her mother, boy, that Kris Jenner is something else. You went and got the same thing, and then you put your daughter's names on it. Y'all never once thought, as wild as y'all are over in that Kardashian household, that y'all would be bent over somewhere with somebody looking at the tramp stamp. So now, what's his name? What's her man, Corey? Corey be over there banging out Kris Jenner with Kyle and Kendall's name. Kylie and Kendall's name. Y'all are wild. Anyway, tramp stamp, belly button ring. Yeah, we was out here wilding. It was the 99 in the 2000s. That's all. That's what we was doing out there. But yeah, I don't say daddy. I don't call my man daddy. I don't daddy. So, and I darn sure don't like be putting tattoos on my body. Y'all bothering me bad. Sorry. Oh boy. I wanted them to have something to look at. Well, T is over here letting it all hang out. Chris don't have a tongue ring. I mean, I'm surprised too. Whatever they doing, she doing. All those Kardashians. I just think it's funny. I wanted to make a tribute to my dad. I remember Uncle Matt. I got that tattoo, my tramp step, and I was telling Uncle Matt I had one. And when I got ready to pull, and it's like I said, it's not like you can't see my butt. It's on in the tramp stamp zone. And I was gonna show my uncle. He was like, no. He did not want to have nothing to do with singing or nothing like that. So, yeah, y'all, if you want a tribute to your daddy, please don't put it above the crack of your ass. Somebody might see it and then ask you, who's your daddy? Oh, Dak. I guess Dak ain't going to be her daddy. That's for daggone sure. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott called off his wedding after his fiancée, Jane Ramos, allegedly refused to sign a prenup. Dak is worth $250 to $300 million. Get her out of here. Ooh, she's a butterface. Sorry, that wasn't nice. As many of you know, our wedding is currently scheduled to take place in Lake Como, Italy on Friday, April 10th, 2026. It is with heavy hearts that we privately inform our attendees that we have made the very difficult decision to cancel our wedding. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, and you are welcome. We welcome your prayers. Sarah Jane Ramos and Dak Prescott. Girl, you done just talked yourself out of a bag. I'm not sorry for you at all. I don't know why people think that they shouldn't be getting no prenup. Good morning to Motown Investor. She's announcing her drink. She has coffee talk with a banana strawberry smoothie. I want to get into some smoothies this summer. Dak need to focus on his game so Jerry can see another Super Bowl win. When is that supposed to happen? T, you might have a fan over here with you. Lotus, are you a Dallas Cowboys fan? Because if it's one thing T takes serious, it's Michigan State and Dallas Cowboys. I don't understand why she wouldn't want to sign the prenup. That says everything. I think maybe, do you think she was trying to hold out and see? She didn't think he would cancel. She was like, we have all these people planning to fly to Italy, and Dak said, and for $200 to $300 million, we won't be going if you don't sign this paper. Prenup is not say you don't get anything, stupid girl. I don't even know why. Like I said, she talked herself out of a bag. I personally, I would not have any problem signing any prenup. I think everybody should have a prenup, even if you don't have no money, because you don't know how things are going to turn out. And I think it's just a conversation of, if this thing doesn't work out, how do we handle it? Even if it's down to, if we buy a house, how do we separate? I think everyone should have a prenup. If you're going to matrimony yourself, which I never intend to do. You're not a Cowboys fan? But you like old man Jerry? Why? Why? Don't say that. He's the only reason not to like the Cowboys. Don't give her half, but give her something. She was there before Dak signed his first contract. I mean, nobody said that it was half. She's saying she ain't signing it. So, I mean, I guess there won't be a wedding. Even if you play lotto, you need a prenup. I agree. I feel like, decisions need to be made while people ain't mad. Even if you don't have children, there should be some understanding as to, what happens if we have children and how that would, what that would look like if we were no longer married. What'd you say? I'm going to need a prenup to give me what I want. if he cheats. I just saw something somewhere. I'm going to look for it and see if I can find it again. But one of these states said if you cheat, you automatically lose. I'm gonna have to judge at Lotus Egyptian Flowers since she likes old man Jerry. That was what LC said. Lotus Egyptian Flower, come to the front. We need you to explain. We need you to explain what that's all about. No, the prenuptial says she only get what she came into the relationship with. Oh, you got details of the prenup. Well, I mean, if she came in with nothing, I think that's unfair. I think it needs to be renegotiated. Jack, are you for real? And you don't love this lady if you want to say that. Both of y'all came in with nothing if you came in before you signed your contract. I just think that doesn't, that's not fair. But prenups, I think, should be discussed like April. Y'all wait till the last minute. This should have been handled 2025. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe prenups should be made and signed before the invitations go out. Because, you know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. You don't send out invitations and then be like, never mind, don't worry about it because, this nigga's not trying to share. I'm here for prenups. I'm just not here for matrimony. So there's that. What else? What else we got going on? Maybe they'll work it out. You think they'll break up? Okay, y'all. So we got an update. We talked about this girl that was shot up Rihanna's house. Post made on Ivana Ortiz social media pages prior to the pow incident at Rihanna's home. The woman apparently records a lot of odd freestyle and shares prayers related to the journal entries on YouTube. This is a lot. So this is the young lady.
You can't fuck with me, Cardi B. You're supposedly busy right now. But you know who has the cutest outfit tonight? You know who's the cutest tonight? I am. I'm the cutest tonight. You ain't doing nothing to me. You ain't messing with me. Ain't nobody pressed. Ivana's not pressed. Is Cardi B pressed? Shardy B?
So I'm guessing Cardi B was probably next on her list because she keeps referencing Cardi B in this.
Huh?
Yeah. She's just doing a lot of standing in the mirror and looking at herself and her outfit.
They still know it's me. I'm what you can't stand to see. I'm everything you want to be. Jealousy. They still know it's me. I'm everything you want to be. I'm what you want to see. Jealousy.
Work. That's what it took. Cause these bitches is acting like they doing shit. Cause these bitches is acting like they talking shit. Work. That's what it took.
There were so many trash.
Yeah, I don't want to keep doing that. Let's see. Yes, there's a video of her and talking directly to Rihanna. Why did she pop him up? I didn't see Rihanna's house. Rihanna got the hell out of Dodge. They said they see Rihanna get in an airplane on a private jet and bounce. Don't blame her. Like, I feel like she's probably very shook up being in that house with her kids and this crazy lady. So this is her on her YouTube. They be out here like shadow banning people and all kind of foolishness, but this lady over here, here she is.
And sisters in Christ, Who shot at Rihanna's home? Police say 35-year-old Ivana Lisette Ortiz allegedly pulled up outside the property and fired between.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put you up there again. She was cray. She has several mugshots. Oh, she already had, there's a lot coming out. I wanted y'all to hear this though. This is her talking directly about Rihanna to Rihanna.
God, I don't hate my brother in Christ. I don't hate my sister in Christ. Thank you, Father, that I have eternal life abiding within me. Verse 16. By this we come to know progressively, to recognize, to perceive, to understand the essential love that he laid down his own life for us. And we ought to lay our lives down for him. Someone is screaming right now. The devil is screaming right now. Because this is truth laid out. And the devil shall lose a lot of children of his, and a lot of children shall come and be adopted by our Holy Father God. By this we come to know, progressively to recognize, to perceive, to understand the essential love that he laid down.
Jesus. I care about Jesus. Let me include here my family, my daughter. I understand, Father, that you have your eye on my career path, and I'm going to put this into the prayer requests. Career path. God, also I pray for my image and reputation. I'm going to put that here as well. Career path, image and reputation, food, shelter, and clothing. Always the basic necessities. Let's write basic necessities here in prayer requests. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lord, that you are so forgiving.
Child. This is so scary that you just don't know like what people are manifesting, in their mind. And you just live in your life. She over there, calling Rihanna the devil. She's making you itch. She gonna need that Jesus in jail. I mean, we don't know. She hasn't been charged. We don't know. There's a whole process out there. I'm just glad they found her. Like I said, she had Cardi B on her list. Rihanna got the heck out of Dodge, as she should have. And yeah, these people are out here. We over here reviewing TV shows and just talking a little smack and just, bringing up, the excellence that is Black and history that is Black as well. But she over here threatening people. Clearly she has some desire to be a pop star of some kind. And she has in her mind created enemy lines with Rihanna and Cardi B, who would be at the top, I guess, of what pop culture is looking at for women. I'm glad they caught her. And yeah, we ain't supposed to call people crazy, but she crazy. And it's wild how they always using God and Jesus as their, shield of craziness. We're going to put it on God. No, we're not. He did not assign you to this. So we talked a little bit about the Netflix situation. Netflix has walked away from their Warner Brothers Discovery deal after Paramount submitted a better offer. Netflix will receive a $2.8 billion breakup fee. I'd like to break up for $2.8 billion. In a dramatic twist in the ongoing media consolidation race, Netflix has reportedly stepped away from its proposed deal with Warner Brothers Discovery after Paramount submitted a stronger competing offer. The decision reshapes the landscape of an already volatile entertainment industry where billion-dollar mergers and acquisitions have become the norm rather than an exception. According to reports, Paramount's improved bid significantly outpaced the terms previously agreed upon between Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery. As a result, Netflix opted not to match or exceed the new proposal. However, the streaming giant won't be leaving empty-handed. Due to the structure of the original agreement, Netflix is set to receive a substantial $2.8 billion breakup fee. Breakup fees common in large-scale corporate transactions are designed to compensate a party when they signed a deal falls through under specific conditions. In this case, the payout cushions the financial strategic impact of losing out on the acquisition while strengthening Netflix's balance sheet on the short term. For Paramount, the aggressive move signals a clear intent to scale rapidly and compete more directly in the global streaming and content arms race. Securing Warner Brothers Discovery assets would significantly expand its library, production capabilities, and market leverage. Meanwhile, Netflix remains in a strong position despite the setback. The $2.8 billion infusion provides flexibility for future investments, whether in original programming, technology infrastructure, global expansion, or even alternative acquisition targets. The broader takeaway underscores the intensity of today's media battleground. As traditional studios and streaming platforms fight for dominance, strategic bids, counteroffers, and high-stakes negotiations are redefining the entertainment hierarchy in real time. With billions on the line, the market leadership at stake, this latest development is yet another reminder in the streaming wars. No deal is ever truly final until the ink dries, and even then, surprises can happen. This is unfortunate. And I knew, like, when they was like, you need to fire, they put Netflix between a rock and a hard place. You talking about, oh, girl, we know fame brings attention, too scary. I mean, she might be relishing in this attention. What'd you say? Oh, sorry. I dropped my water bottle. Everything's fine. I'm going to tell your dude you be on here talking smack. You'll break up for millions of dollars. I didn't say that. Did I say that? Listen, my dude would encourage me to go get that money. So there's that. And he knows I'm a smack talker. That's, probably why he likes me. Yeah, this merger is a big problem because it's gonna, there's a big control over, and this is about MAGA and what is it, true TRP or these people over there, the MAGA party run by Charlie Kirk's wife. This is the control of media and what we hear and what we're allowed to see. The images that we're allowed to see. We already have a struggle of seeing ourselves like in these places. So, shout out to Netflix for standing their ground, but I just feel like they don't have, Paramount has a bunch of billionaires with an agenda behind them. And so, they're buying up CBS and all of the major news outlets. And so we'll see where this goes, but, hopefully we might have to get back out here on the chitlin circuit because, they're taking over. They're trying to erase us. Not everybody. So, yeah, we'll be keeping our eye on what's going on over there and how we're going to be affected. We had Queen Latifah and Taraji over on Lifetime, acquiring space to make, movies, with us, by us. Black woman media mogul Issa Rae reveals she started her career with just $25. The YouTube series that built a multi-million-dollar empire. Before the Hollywood deals hit hit shows, Issa Rae started with just $25 and a vision. That small investment went towards feeding the friends who helped film the first episode of Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl on YouTube. I've never looked at that. I might go back and watch that just to see like where she started, what was her recipe. We started as a low budget web series, would eventually catch the attention of major industry names and evolve into HBO hit series Insecure, launching a multi-million-dollar media career. I think that's great. I think, a lot of times we be so focused on the big picture, we don't see like the little steps that it takes to say, make it to where we're trying to get to. Your dude will say, get that money. I know that's right, Mr. El Cid and Mr. Just Rhonda would be like 2.8 million. Yeah, we could break up for a minute and go ahead and get that coin. I think, like I said, we're here on YouTube, small content creators. I don't have dreams like screenwriter dreams like Issa had, but it just takes a little. You know what I mean? Like I said, we a lot of times be focused on the big picture and not you out here like, getting your friends to film, get your idea across. It makes me think of Spike Lee and what is it? That first one that he did, She Gotta Have It. You said you tried to watch Insecure, but you never got into it. I feel like, because when I was watching it, I was beyond that age, of Insecure. I did like it though. I feel like it got better. It was a little, it was a little hard, I think, to get into. I don't want to say hard, slow to get into in the beginning. Elsa, it wasn't your jam either, but you support her rise to the top. Girl 6, is that an Issa Rae production? Same thing with Snowfall. I think Snowfall was in the middle of Too Much Power and Empire and other things that were going on. I tried to watch Snowfall. I think maybe I got through the first season and then I stopped. Then I forgot what was going on. Snowfall started out with John Singleton, and at some point John Singleton wasn't there anymore, and that may have something to do with I don't really need to be that involved in the drug game. It got a little deep for me, deeper than I wanted to be. I don't know I know John Singleton, like I said, started with Snowfall. I do want to go back though and see her YouTube series, like I said, just to see like how that started. But I mean, I bring that up because these Paramount and these big media outlets are, we won't be seeing a whole lot of us, if there's not more people like Issa Rae looking for other outlets, other ways for us to communicate with each other and entertain each other. You said the writing towards the end of Insecure lacked substance for me. I feel like, it was time for her to walk away, and maybe she was looking for, once she got Insecure, I think bigger deals start coming her way, and maybe she had to wrap it up. Spike Lee, yes, he did Girl 6 too. I don't remember that one. I do remember She's Gotta Have It, but I remember Spike Lee came out there. He was just, straight off of Morehouse campus with a video camera. It's an our generation thing. I was down there in Atlanta with the AU Center, and there was a lot of inspiration around. Unlike now, everything is like so quick. You get on here, you hit one good lick, and now you're an internet sensation, and then there's no, then what? So I do like that she was able to take a small thing and build it into a whole career. What else? Just one last thing that I wanted to discuss with y'all. I wish they had names. They did not. But the women behind the scenes of the hit film Sinners Make History featured on the cover of Essence magazine. The Black women who helped bring the film to life are now featured on the cover of Essence magazine, highlighting the power, creativity and influence of Black women in Hollywood. Representation matters, especially behind the scenes. And I agree, because if there's no behind the scenes people making these decisions, then they won't consider us at all. And, you know, they look beautiful on the cover. And like I said, I wish they had named names. They did not. But I'm going to go ahead and show y'all these beautiful ladies who, I don't know what role they played. This is a lot of chocolatey goodness going on over here. They all look amazing. I still haven't watched Sinners. That's on my list of things to do. It's funny because I see this and it reminds me of when I was in college. Y'all know I went to fashion school and we had an internship. Where's Michael B. Jordan's mama? Is she there too? She should be. You thought you was going to cover Sinners? I am. I got to watch it. I'm going to watch Sinners this weekend and then we can cover it on Monday. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So when I was in college, I had to do an internship. And I feel like it was a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks of an internship. We did not go to school. We went to an internship. And one of my coworkers got me an internship at this talent agency, which was really cool. So the lady was moving her offices and I'm going through photos, helping her organize photos. That was pretty much my job in her internship. In my internship, she needed help to reorganize her things while she was moving into her office. And so I would see models come in who never looked like their picture. You know what I'm saying? I would see them come in and she would send them out on different jobs. And she told me to can you pull me some photos of some gentlemen that look like Fortune 500? And at the time I was like, what does that mean? What is Fortune 500? She's like, executives. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going through the photos of the men and I'm picking out what I thought would look like a boss, an executive in a Fortune 500 company. And so I threw a few Black men in there. I'm thinking 40 up, distinguished looking, you know what I'm saying? She didn't have a lot of Black people on her roster. So when I saw some, I always pulled their photos. And she came back to me and she took them out. And she said, I don't know if this is what they're looking for. And so that was a lesson I learned very young, because I'm like, how do you know? How about just send them? Because I feel like these, these men came to you as their agent and you're supposed to send them out. This is in Atlanta, for God's sakes. Black people work around here. So, you didn't even give the company, whoever the people were that were looking for these models, you didn't even give them the opportunity to say no. You just decided for yourself to cut off these men's, livelihood before they even got a shot. So if there's not somebody behind the scenes that's going to put you out there, you know what I mean? Then you probably won't get that opportunity. So we definitely need Black people behind the scenes. Sinners was a watch with your members. Where was I? I don't know, probably taking notes for one of these ridiculous shows that I'll be reviewing over here. Elsa, you do a lot. I be showing up as, I'll be there. Sometimes I just be there on shows I don't watch. I hit you with a chocolate heart and I let it ride because I know the view is what, the people are looking for. But yeah, we have to have people that look like us, not just in front of the scenes, but behind the scenes as well, because they're not going to think of us. They're not going to think of us. So that's a small thing that stuck, in my head as a young person, that if somebody like us is not there, then we're not ever going to get the opportunity, because they won't put us forward. And, for me, Black men do look like Fortune 500. It's a lot of young Black businessmen out here. And so we got to keep it, not just in front of the camera, but off the camera too. So that's all I got for today, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. Hope y'all have a lovely rest of your day. What'd you say, T? You took over photos for your school catalogs because represented. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's probably something like, and this is a thing, you know, when you talk about racism and how it works and why Black people can't be racist, it's not something that ever crosses their mind. In their mind, they like not racist because they have Black friends. Like, I love the guy that lives across the street from my house. He's a nice neighbor. He keeps his lawn nice. He keeps them kids from out running around the street. You know what I'm saying? So they don't realize that when they don't consider us, that's how racism works. It's not even something that's a thought. They, and when I say they, non-melanated people have to go out of their way to recognize that there is no diversity here. Why am I sitting in this room and there's only one voice? And they like it that way. And I don't want to get off into that tangent. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, y'all, like I said, happy Tuesday. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. And I'm going to watch Sinners so we can talk about it. El Cid, you could come talk about it, even though you already did it over there on your channel. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend that we be over here discussing the things in the mornings at 10 o'clock. Yeah, bye y'all.